So I've got a really important question for you today. Why did you change who you was just to fit in with a group of people you never liked or even wanted to be a part of in the first place? You just wanted their approval. You just wanted someone to like you. You wanted someone to approve of you. Well, where are those people now? There's a chance that you haven't spoke to them in a long time. And if they're still around, well, you kind of have to force yourself into situations. You never really get invited into places or events with them or to parties with them. You kind of feel like a bit of an outsider. And it's all because you allowed yourself to get lost. You pushed away the true and real parts of who you are just to be tolerated, because you're never going to get truly accepted by people with that kind of approach. What I just said might have sounded a little harsh, and I admit that it is, but that was me many years ago, trying to always just mold myself to fit into different groups of people and try and be friends with all these different groups and guys who I never really quite aligned with. And don't get me wrong, it took me a long time to realize this on my own. So that's why I want to talk to you about it today, because I want you to see and hear about the mistakes I made so you don't have to go through it yourself. Or at least I hope you don't struggle with it for as long as I did, because being the invisible one in the group is never really nice, is it? You know, through adapting and changing, you quickly tend to learn which versions of you get rewarded with attention and appraisal. And it feels nice, doesn't it? Because you don't usually quite get that. So you tend to stick with it and you tend to be that fake person in order to get those things, in order to get that praise, in order to get that attention. But eventually it stops because your authenticity slips through from that fabricated happiness that you gained by changing who you are. Because you got excited, you felt like it'd be a bit more comfortable, you felt like you could be yourself, and then you blow your cover. And all of a sudden, you're not the person that they've been tolerating all this time. You're now yourself. So now, they're not going to tolerate that because you're going to be completely different. I'm not saying being yourself is a bad thing, but in this case, because the only thing you did was lie, it is. Being your authentic self is the only thing that's going to attract those exact type of people that you're searching for, whether this is friends or whether this is the significant other you've been so frantically searching for. When you're yourself, you give the chance to the people that you want to meet to like that person. Because if I decided to be this nonchalant dickhead, so to speak, then people who are attracted to that type of personality will come to me. But then after a while, if that fake persona of mine started to break apart and I started to show my actual self, me being goofy, me just being a bit of an idiot, me being a massive nerd, me being, obsessed with looking after myself and self-improvement, well, that's not what they signed up for. So what do you think the reaction's going to be? They are going to turn away immediately, because that is not the persona that they initially saw, that they initially took a liking to. You're now becoming a different person. Just like if they all of a sudden became a different person, you're not gonna like them either, are you? Your opinion of them will change, just like theirs will change from you. So you probably started thinking, well, thank you very much for pointing out the fucking obvious, Sherlock. How do I actually get people to like me for me? Well, you're in luck, because I'm just about to tell you. Well, realistically, I kind of already have. So if you kind of wanted to click off the video by now, you can if you want, because it's just plain and simple. Be yourself. But if you want to actually delve deep into that because you're not actually quite sure what that means, here it is. You need to start with identifying what it is that you're suppressing. What is it that you are hiding from the outside fucking world that you're so scared of for them to see? Because when you find out those things, well then you will have your answer as to what you need to hone in on. Because I could never stop being a nerd. That's just me at heart. That's just what I'm always going to be. And if I try to hide that, eventually it's going to slip up. Eventually I'm going to start talking about it and mention it. And the people who hate those things, who I initially lied to, by the way, would then find out. And how do you think they're going to feel about that? So how do you think they feel about you when you lie, try to be in something else that you're not? So if there's things that you're hiding, those are the things I'm going to need you to fucking double down on. Because if you don't, well, how are you ever going to be your true authentic self to the outside world? What are you suppressing? What are you hiding from others? Those are the things I want you to talk about. Those are the things I want you to express your interest in. Those are the things you're going to show to other people in person, social media, whatever. That's just what you're doing. Post it, show it, talk about it. That is being your authentic self. Genuinely just showing what it is that you're excited about. And eventually, you're gonna find people who are excited and interested about those exact same things. I have a friend who found her husband through D&D. If she never went to D&D because she was scared to express her interest in it, she could have never met her husband. You know what I mean? It's such a small, just one meeting. They became friends, they became better friends, and by the time you know it, yeah, they are. And that's just one example of many. You might find your significant other or your very best friend for life, so to speak, through a hobby of yours. But if you don't show that interest in that thing, how are you supposed to find people that you genuinely click with? So stop hiding that. Stop hiding those feelings and double down on them. The next thing is just as equally as important, and it's that you take responsibility for your own self-pity. The world isn't harsh to you on purpose. You know, people aren't the way they are to you on purpose. The world's not against you. You're just against yourself. When you start appreciating things more, when you start appreciating the world more, your life more, whatever, just being more positive about things and stop feeling so sorry for yourself. I used to always be so angry with myself. I was never satisfied with what it is that the world gave to me because I was desperate to prove myself. I was desperate for these different things. And then I realized the world, or people for that matter, don't actually owe you anything. Whatever it is that you want, you need to go and get, whether that's through time, hard work, persistence, consistency, self-development, whatever it is. But you're gonna have to do something in order to get that thing. It won't just come to you. So stop feeling sorry for yourself and start working on things instead. Because it is yourself that chose to adapt in order to be accepted. But in reality, you're gonna have to start being yourself. So the things that you used to know, those people that you used to hang around with now, that you may not actually like anyway, you're just kind of trying to pretend to yourself that you do, they're gonna go. You're gonna lose quite a lot of people in that sense, because you're gonna stop being yourself. You're gonna start saying no to them and yes to yourself, and yes to the future things that you want. Essentially saying yes to future you, because this thing is like not a fucking overnight thing. This is gonna take a little bit of time. Think of it as your way of paying for lying. You're gonna have to face a little bit of rejection before you find the people you actually want to find. That will come with creating distance to the current things that you do that don't actually align with who you are. Because, matter of fact, if you don't really quite enjoy going out drinking, well, you're gonna have to stop doing that. You're gonna have to distance yourself from that in order to become the person you actually want to show to the world. That obviously will entail getting adjustment to, you're gonna have to adjust to your new routine, and probably losing the people that you go out drinking with, because the chances of them coming with you to do something else are pretty slim, because, well, they expect you to be like them, because that is what you portrayed yourself as. And now you're gonna change. Now you're gonna be somebody else. So don't expect this side to come over here. It's just not gonna happen. And changing those things is going to be uncomfortable. The matter of fact is that whatever it is that we want will always feel uncomfortable at first, because a little bit of a lie, or just a little bit of chilling, or just avoiding things, well, that's easy, isn't it? That's just easy, and it's convenient, and it's simple and quick in the moment. But the meaningful things, the bigger things in life, the things that we actually want, well, we're going to be faced with rejection, delayed gratification, and a whole lot of effort in order to get there. But that's just how it is. If you want what you actually want, not what you think that you want, you're gonna have to get through it. You're gonna have to do all those things. When you clicked on this video, I never said this was gonna be easy. I'm very honest. I just like to say it how it is. I don't like to sugarcoat it. So you're just gonna have to get used to facing a little bit more rejection than you're used to, I suppose, because you've always fabricated yourself in order to fit in, to avoid that confrontation. Well, now you're going to be faced with it very often. And each and every single time you act in accordance to who you truly are, you reinforce that belief in yourself. And you just continue to make it that much easier and easier to show who you really are to the world. And eventually, you're never going to want to fit in ever again. You're just going to focus on finding people who you align with in whatever shape that is for you. So get out there and get it done.